Welcome to Cole Porter Tune of the Week 41. Why shouldn't I? I thought this was another of one of those tunes where I've never heard it, but it turns out that I have heard it because it's on that Pure Desmond album, which is a great album with Ed Bickert. They also do Everything I Love, another Cole Porter tune on that album where Ed Bickert plays this amazing solo. So I really recommend that album with Paul Desmond, Pure Desmond. So this tune is pretty straightforward, and we'll play it as swing. I think it's a ballad, and a lot of people do this as a ballad, but we'll do it a little bit medium swing. And I just want to take a moment to thank my patrons. As always, these videos are bi-weekly on here on YouTube, and then every other week it's on Patreon only. So I wouldn't be able to produce all these videos if it wasn't for my patrons, and it's what keeps the lights on. Is that the expression? Anyway, let's play Why Shouldn't I? You know the drill. Let's play the melody together. Then I'll take a solo and you'll take a solo and you come for me and vice versa. And then we'll play the melody again. And we shall see what happens. Come for me. Your solo. Melody. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. The chords are probably not what's in the original musical version. I think it's supposed to be A7 instead of A minor. But I prefer minor. I checked out different versions and people do different things. And I prefer A minor. You could also go C, A minor, D minor, G7, E minor, A7. Or A minor 7. There's an option there because we don't have the third in the melody, right? So it could be D minor, E minor. But I prefer to keep it simple here. Also, where it goes to E major. I think it's supposed to be E major to C sharp minor. But I like these changes. Charts, you'll see an A7 before the D minor there. But I like going from E major to D minor. It's a kind of a funny key change, or a funny... it's a key change. We're temporarily in E major, but the E belongs to C major too, right? Like there's an E7, a secondary dominant. So it kind of is not completely weird, but it's a little bit weird. And I like it. So I think that Paul Desmond record with Ed Bickert is a perfect example on how to play these tunes, these Cole Porter tunes. Just kind of relaxed and let the tune shine. Like play the tune, play the changes and refer to the melody. Don't try to play crazy bebop extravaganza or reharm. I mean, you can do that stuff, but just try to play in the style that they do there on that record. I think is a perfect example of how I would like to play these Cole Porter tunes, because you don't want to ruin the tunes, you want to bring out the tune. So a topic that came up a little bit in the last video session, or the last Zoom session we did with my patrons, was that like when you're comping, should you put the melody note on top? So I'm doing that now because I'm comping myself, right? So it's like you're hanging voicings under the note, melody note. So if there's a fifth and it's a C major 7, I can play. I like that, or I could play like a stack of fours. I have all these voicings that I know work regardless of what the melody note is. But if I'm comping instrumentalist, or if I'm comping behind solos, or a vocalist, I don't want to play the melody note in the comping as the highest note because it kind of interferes with the melody. Especially if it's a vocalist, it can be kind of weird. It's like you're trying to help the vocalist find the notes unless you need that. So you want to not play the melody note all the time, but I don't think too much about that. But it would be really weird if you play the melody note on the top in your voicing all the time, and it would be distracting to the melody. And but it's important to have a good top kind of melody. Mike Marino talks about this. I'll make a video about this, I think, about comping. I have made videos about comping, but I'll talk a little bit more about this. So there should be like a nice the top note should be a melody, ideally. But I think modern jazz guitar players, are the Lagerlunds and the Mike Marinos of the world, they don't think too much about voicing, but more about voice leading. So it's not that they have these crazy chords, and sometimes they do, but they're much more aware of each voice. And that's it's not that you play like crazy C major 7 sharp 5 add 11 whatever when they see a C major 7. It's that their voice leading is really sophisticated. But no, you don't play the melody note in the top as a top note of your voicing all the time when you're comping, and but the top note should be like a melody in and of itself, ideally. And also when you're comping a soloist, you can practice that when what we just did, right? In this, you can watch this video again and comp for my solo. Try to play in the spaces. Hopefully I left some space, and that's where you want to play something so that the music moves forward, right? But I think I'll make a video about this. So I just need to figure out a good tune for this idea of comping, kind of, I guess, in the modern style. But anyway, that was Why Shouldn't I? Cole Porter. And thank you for your time and attention. I shall see you next time.